Hi, this is Rich Russakoff, Coach to the Best, and welcome to another edition of No Fluff Stuff. Today's focus is from an article of Seth Godin's, which was absolutely terrific about raising money and where your time and focus needs to be, and the absolute best way to raise money. And I'll tell you that at the end, when I look at companies, particularly startups, the two worst things that can happen to a startup is they have not enough money or too much money. Now, not enough money, that's an easy thing. What happens then is the learning curve doesn't catch up to the earning curve and you're broke and gone. But why too much money? Because it's very expensive money, that first money, and if you borrowed it, then you have to pay it back. And if you're not spending it in the right place, it's gone, kaput. On the other hand, if it's equity money that you have to give up early in the game, when you can be really growing a company, that becomes very expensive money down the road. So let's take a look at where we make mistakes. And Seth points this out beautifully. If you're borrowing money for expenses, that means you're in financial trouble. That means something's wrong with your business model. You don't want to be borrowing money for operations. You want to be focusing then on, do you have the right financial model? And do you have the right business model? And the second thing is that if you're borrowing money, you want to borrow it for things that are going to give you a specific return, for investments that you're making to grow the company. A line of credit, which you're using for operations to cover you through periods of times and cash flow nets, that's a different thing than a term loan where you're using the money for growth. And if you're using a line of credit for growth, you're going to be in trouble. So please be careful of that. So what is it that Seth Godin says that I think is so beautiful to end this with today? What he says is, instead, spend the energy, that passion, and that focus to raise money from your customers, to delight more customers often enough that they happily pay for what you can do for them, and then repeat it again and again. Put your time not in the second round or the third round of financing. Put your time in building the business. Have a wonderful weekend, and please read Seth's article.